try to live a life that if you were to look back when you're 90 years old, you're looking back at your life, you would be happy that you lived that life, and that you will be happy with the decisions that you did. You will have a life with minimum amount of regrets and maximum amount of like fulfillment in life. And that's the type of life you want to live. And also, if you could possibly do that, try to do things that even if you were to die today, you would still be happy about those decisions. So your future self that may never exist and your current self that currently exists, both of them will be happy with the lifestyle that you're living right now. If you were to die 60 years from now, 100 years from now, or if you were to die today.
We often see stories on TV and forget that there are real people behind every life. One such person that we got to meet on CNBC's show Millennial Money was Jerone Gillespie. Jerone is a 23-year-old working at a tax office earning about $25,000 a year. Experiencing financial hardships in life, Jerone has made a decision that he is not going to be the type of person who lets life push him around. His desire to get ahead in life and to crush the wealth gap has led him to investors like Ben Graham and Warren Buffett. After watching Jerone on CNBC, I reached out to him for an interview. The following is an interview that I conducted with Jerone earlier this week. This was an informal interview, and it was actually my first interview on this channel. Your suggestions for improvements are always welcome. Now, let's go behind the scenes and meet Jerone Gillespie. Jerone, your story was like amazing to hear, man. Like, it was kind of interesting to see that a person at your age is thinking about finances and stuff, and it just kind of hit me at the heart. I was like, man, this guy's like thinking about stuff, because when I was your age, man, I was working like 2 jobs, going to school, and I would like go hustle to my security job, then go hustle to my pizza job. I would make everything in the pizza place, and my hands would be like always smelling of pepperoni. And I always felt like, there's something in the future that I need to get to, because I just didn't want to be like, as you said in your video, didn't want to be poor again. You didn't want to like think about having like $100 in your bank account. And my parents didn't really have that much money. So I'm like, hey, I need to like do something. And it was just like a constant, like, do I have an hour to spend? Let me go do something. Let me go work. And I even did side hustles. So the way you approach life, man, and your philosophy and the age you're at, like, it just kind of felt like, okay, this guy's like thinking exactly like the trajectory is going to be exactly like how I felt when I was your age. And so I was really happy to see that. So welcome on this channel, man. Like, really happy to have you.
I really appreciate all of that. And yeah, that's an amazing story you got there yourself. I feel like that what it really comes down to a lot of the times is having that motivation and having that determination to reach that point. So yeah, that's a really awesome story that you have. We need to learn more about your story as well.
I know, man. I try to share, and it's because, stuff that we do in life, like financially, it is possible because it just requires you to actually put your mind to it, put an effort to it, and it is possible to get up there. And a lot of people that I know that are your age, 25, 26, 27, they're just thinking, nothing's going to happen. This is it. So we're just going to have to overthrow the government or something. But it's just like, you have to think about it in a very practical manner. When you said, hey, I quit eating and I had like 1 meal a day, I was just like, this guy is taking his food money and putting it into the stock market. I mean, you can't ask you for anything else. How did you arrive at that, man? Like in your head, you just like, screw it, I'm just not going to eat?
Well, there's a few different things that went in there. Intermittent fasting, that was basically what I was doing. And I was doing it in a very extreme manner. When I would eat a lot, but I would in the beginning, I wouldn't eat a lot. When I first started doing it, I was cutting back every single penny, but I slowly started eating more, but I would just eat once a day. But what I found was that first off, your body gets used to it. And then also a lot of the times people would say to me that, oh, you look at like you're in a healthy weight. So I was only 10 pounds lighter than I am now. And I eat twice a day now. I'm getting bigger. I'm at the height of my weight. If I get past 180, I'm roughly 180 now. And after I get past 180, I start to get a little plump. So I feel like at 170, I was a good weight. I was eating once a day. At one point, I did hit 165. I got real skinny. But I mean, I was at a good weight. I was saving money. I was eating food, and eating once a day. From the things that I read, it didn't seem as conclusive as far as the health benefits. But I have read that one thing that statistically or scientifically shows is that a lot of the times, like animals, if you restrict their eating, a lot of the times they live longer. And I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but I've read that. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not an animal, but let's see what happens.
Right. I think it's called autophagy or something like that, where your body actually goes into this mode after about 20 hours of not eating, 18 to 20 hours, where it starts to take apart all the cells that are like older cells. So you actually get a lot better of a response from your body. You're right. There is some studies out there for that. And I've dabbled into the intermittent fasting. I've done like one meal a day myself. And it can kind of get hard in the beginning, but then you get to a point where it's just like, oh, that's what I eat. And then it just kind of becomes normal. I think your stomach shrinks too. So to kind of adjust for that.
I think it does.
So you went to college and you did Spanish. I'm just like, why? Like, what happened? Why did you do Spanish? What was your reason?
Oh my goodness. So that part of the video really kind of annoyed me. And I'm gonna do a reaction video on my channel to that.
Wait, you're gonna do a reaction video of your own video?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing that Graham did. The same thing that Graham did. Yeah, I was like, hey, listen, it worked for him. Don't reinvent the wheel, so to speak. Yeah. So for me, I feel like, they cut out parts of what I was saying. I get it. Like as you just saw, I kind of ramble a little bit, or sometimes I like trip over my own words. And plus I was really nervous. So I was really excited, so to speak, not necessarily nervous, but excited.
Yep.
So I was just like, maybe all over the place a little bit, but there was some things that I said that they kind of just left out. So as far as this, I went to school, I was undecided, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a Spanish major. You know what? That's a good idea. I think that I'm a lot more obsessed with money than what that video probably depicted me as. When I was a little kid, I was just obsessed with money, just saving money, getting as much money as possible. But as I gotten older, I've evolved it. I've grown. I'm obsessed with getting as much money as possible, doing the things that I enjoy.
Nice.
So I want to do what I want to do to get the money. But thereafter, I'm just obsessed with just get as much of it as I can, save it up as much as I can, and just accumulate as much as I can. But one of the criteria is, like I said, is doing the things that you enjoy. Because you don't want to live your life just doing something you hate just for money, and then you die and like, oh, well, I'm rich, but I'm dead, and I didn't do anything I enjoyed in life. I'm obsessed with getting money, but I don't want to do some career that I hate just for the money in the hopes that one day, somewhere down the line, I will get to enjoy my life. No, I want to do what I want to, and most of the things I want to do can make money. Well, everything I want to do can make a good amount of money. So for me, it's just like, I'm just going to focus on that.
I relate so hard to that, man, because when I was in college working those jobs and working I told you I had side gigs too. I had a side gig where I would drum. So I had this Eastern drum, Indian drum. I would drum at a wedding, I learned it. I practiced it and I started drumming. I would get like about $150 to $200 for each performance. And one time I was actually sick, feverish, everything coming out. I'm just like coughing. And I had to go to a performance, and I was that kind of person where you tell me, "Hey, be at this time, and be with your drum and play." I'm there, right? I'm never gonna cancel on you, right? And I was sick, and I still went. And I remember that day, I'm like, I had like napkins in my pocket, and I'm like, just wiping my nose and just playing, and I'm super tired. I'm like, and then I go into my car, and it started raining, and it was like. It was like the worst day, right? It's the worst day. Oh, you don't even know, man. So it starts raining. My shoes are getting wet. The guy's like, I'm not going to pay you right now. I'll pay you later. I'm like, okay. I go home, never got paid for that gig because the guy just stopped talking to me. I actually met him. He said, sue me if you want. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to sue you, but what am I going to do? And so, sometimes life just kind of throws those kind of things at you, man. And that day, I was just like, okay, sometimes you just have to do things to sort of get the money that you're talking about, right? And a lot of people may not understand that if they're already with money, if their parents were rich, they're like, oh, whatever, I'll do like something. I always do something that I love, And I think of it as I totally have a mindset like you, where like, hey, do something you love. But I also keep it in mind. It's like if I don't have a choice, I'm going to go do out there. I don't care what it is. I'm just gonna go out there, and sometimes I hate my job. Sometimes I hate what I'm doing at that point, but I'll just do it because I have to do it because there's no other choice. And so there's that portion of me which is like constantly seeking what you just said, which is like happiness and money and prosperity. But also there's this realist person of me that says, hey, this job came up and I know you don't like this thing about this job, but just go grab it because it fits the larger goal of me investing, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. Like I will make a sacrifice, a job that I don't like if I need to make that type of money.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm at that point in my life right now, but I feel like I haven't been at that point in my life in a while. When it comes down to doing jobs I don't like, I feel like only way I would do a job that I don't like at this point is if I feel as though it's going to teach me something that I want to learn.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like for example, when I was going door to door, I went door to door for a little bit, and it's not that I didn't like it, but it was just aspects that I didn't like. There was things I liked about it, things I didn't like about it, but I just didn't like the fact that I felt like I was bothering people going door to door. I felt like you're annoying people. And so, but at the end of the day, I feel like I was learning something from it. But eventually the fact that, I felt like I was bothering people built up a lot of anxiety in me. So I ended up not leaving that job. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's the perfect example of me doing something that I'm not necessarily that fond of, but at the time it was one of the best options. And actually it was making pretty good money, especially with commissions. I wasn't pretty good at the job because I would get nervous about, I know I'm about to knock on someone's door and I know they're probably eating, I don't know, applesauce or something like that. And I'm getting in their way of them enjoying their wonderful, sauce. So for me, I just feel like it bothered me. And I feel like I never answered your question about the Spanish thing.
Well, do you have an answer for it?
I didn't go just straight from being undecided to Spanish major. Mm-hmm. I was undecided basically for the first 2 years of college. Okay. And then, at one point I went to Costa Rica for a semester to kind of see if I wanted to do business. Ooh. And I took some business courses there and Spanish courses. And I mean, by then I was already fluent, but I just wanted to get better. So that was really more of like a time where I was just kind of figuring myself out really more than anything. And also taking business courses and practicing Spanish.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. Because the way CNBC put it, they're just like, well, he took Spanish. Next shot, I'm like, what? Why? I don't understand why.
Yeah. So the whole entire, I need to make a video just about that alone, because the way that they described it, I don't like the way they did that. My sophomore year in college, I went to Costa Rica and then I came back. I decided I'm going to probably do biology. Okay. So I started being a biology major for I came back, decided I was going to be a biology major. And then also I did a biology for one semester and then 2 more semesters thereafter. Oh. And then after a while, I realized that, it's probably going to take me another $30,000 of debt. And, at that point I didn't have 30,000 yet, but I mean, it's going to take me a lot of more debt and a lot more time to get the biology degree because I would have to take other math courses. And at that time, I wasn't very good at math and all of that. So it was just like, I really love science. And people think I'm just obsessed with money, but I really love science. And it was just like, I wanted to do something related to science as well. But I was like, all right, whatever. So then Spanish, since I had so many Spanish courses under my belt already, it was just like, I only had a few more courses to take in that. So by the time it was my senior year, I switched colleges and switched my major to Spanish. And then I was just figured if I could take me 2.5 semesters in order to basically graduate. But then I realized that I'm not just trying to get a piece of paper to get a piece of paper to say I did it. Yeah. I mean, that cap and gown wearing a wizard outfit to me is not really my life's goal.
Oh my God. So true.
So it wasn't just I went from undecided to Spanish. I went from undecided, took some business courses to biology to Spanish.
Got it. Yeah, man. I mean, I actually did 3 degrees and I went from math minor to a computer science bachelor's. And then I went into MBA. And I can tell you, man, I actually, in my job, sometimes I get to hire people. Nobody cares about what degrees you have. It's okay, it's a person's college graduate, good enough, in the business field, right? But if you're a engineer or a medical person, sure, yeah, they care about your degree. But if you're a business person, nobody cares, and it's like, I've never looked at somebody's like resume and skipped all the way to the section where their education is and saw, oh, okay, they went to like Harvard. No, I don't, nobody cares. And even the recruiters that I work with, they're like, I used to have a giant education section because, hey, I was proud. Like I went to like these schools and I got all these degrees. But remember, I did it very cheaply as possible. I went to state schools and things like that, and cheaper schools. And they said, just condense it down to like 1 line or 2 lines. I'm like, really? Like, so that's what I had to do, and it's just, I think it's a little bit overblown in terms of like what a degree can do for you. I've seen people that take, expensive degrees, like above $100,000 in total cost, and they end up having no job. Like I know people that are jobless, but have never had a job after college, and they're just sitting there with that much debt. And when you have debt like that, compound interest works the same way in the negative and the positive direction, man. Whew. And when it works in the negative direction, it really works in the negative direction. And you're gonna, exactly. I mean, it's scary. And I admire that you are trying to just avoid all that. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to go work and I'm going to figure out what to do next. So that's awesome.
Well, for me, that's the thing. I don't want to make it seem like I had everything figured out, but I had a very good idea of what I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So that left only a few options thereafter. But as far as college, I'm not saying that I'm against college at all. I mean, I think a lot of people should go to college. But for me, when I was going door to door, this is 2018. When I was going door to door and I was doing Uber and Lyft, I was making more money than I ever have. I was making a lot more. If I was making that type of money all year round, I would be making a lot more than 25,000. Let's just say that. Nice. So for me, I feel like that was a big factor into me thinking like, oh, well, if I can make this type of money without a degree, then, I can do that again. And even right now, if I wanted to go get a sales job and I wanted to be that type of, really like hardcore salesman, mm-hmm. I can go out there without a degree, go get a sales job, make 60,000. I have that type of confidence. To me, it's not about the money at this point. I already know what I'm capable of. Mm-hmm. I want to chase after my goals, my dreams, so to speak. Some people call it a pipe dream. I don't care what they call it. I will say that as far as just the whole college thing, I mean, I'm not against it. No, actually, I'm actually, like I said in the video, Uber and Lyft, Uber has this program where they'll pay for your college for you after you get 3,000 rides. Yep. And I applied for that and I tried to get the accounting degree. They didn't let me get into the program because when I left towards the end of the college, I kind of stopped giving a darn about the college situation. Yeah. So I kind of let my grades start to slip. And then I just eventually just withdrew. And that kind of lowered my GPA. Before I got straight A's, 2 different semesters or whatever. And that's when I was actually caring about college a little bit. Really, I had something to prove more than anything. But, I will go back to college if they pay for it. I don't have a problem with college. And I think most people should go to college. But I have no desire to work for someone else. Obviously, and this is one of the things that I say that people don't like. Obviously, I think that the YouTube thing is an avenue of growth. Yep. I mean, some people are not going to say, oh, well, that's a pipe dream, blah, blah, blah. It's unstable, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Listen, people will say that. And then once you start achieving it, then they'll find some other excuse of why you made it. So I don't, let small-minded people think small-minded. And I'm going to keep thinking the way I want to. And then also I want to focus on the tax related stuff because I do taxes and stuff. So I can grow there. There's a lot of growth avenue there. And also investing. So stocks and real estate. And worst case scenario, not worst case scenario, but another thing that I would consider doing as far as real estate, just to build up the capital, just so I can get some cash flow coming in to invest in stocks and real estate, would be like a real estate agent. But in the video, I said software engineering, but I feel like that's me trying to give myself a backup plan just in case my main things don't work. But I do think, and also I know that software engineering is going to be a big part of the future. And I love science. I love technology. I love STEM fields. So that's not just like me coming out by the blue. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do. Yep. But I do feel like that's a somewhat of a backup plan in my mind.
I think it's a good plan. So real estate is actually really, really healthy because coming up, we're going to have I think because of the evictions and foreclosures that are possible, we're going to need tons and tons of real estate agents. So getting ready for that kind of thing would be amazing. You could ride that wave in the next decade with a real estate agent. I would definitely do that as a solid plan, because it's so easy to get into. It's just you have to work at it and hustle at it, which I think in your case, it's like you're gonna have so much like drive that you're gonna probably make it work. So I think real estate agent would probably be a really good plan. Otherwise, software engineering or IT field, which is my field, IT field. I'm not a software engineer. I started as a business analyst, IT business analyst. I'm now an IT program manager, and so in those fields, it's best to get your resume together that showcases what you know about the field, and then go talk to a recruiter. When you talk to a recruiter, they make sure that you look and sound the way the hiring manager wants to look at you, right? So you need that help. I would start there. I actually wasted a couple of months just not doing that, and going straight to a contracting company and saying, "Hey, here's who I am, and here's what I have. But tell me, what type of positions can you post me onto?" And they will find a position for you. I mean, they'll tell you if you need some kind of certification, but generally speaking, they will help you because they want commission, right? And they want ongoing commission from you. They want to have you as a client, so they actually have an incentive to hire you, to get you hired. So I would highly recommend, instead of focusing on FTE positions, with the full-time positions, going for consulting positions with these companies. There's so many consulting agencies out there, and I can even hook you up with all that, so you can have a little bit of a avenue of where to go look. And I think you would do well in that too, because you're sort of kind of a gun-ho person. I think that's what you need in that type of field, which person who is like a kind of a self-motivating person.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I definitely would be down for something like that. Like I said, the main direction I'm going is probably won't be the IT field, but I definitely am interested in that as well.
I wanted to know if you have a support system around you of people who focus on similar goals or help you with your goals. Like, is there like a friendship or something, or you have somebody around you that can help you with this?
I do have help. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do or save the money I save without help. First off, when I was living on the couch, I was a couch and then eventually couch bed, I was living in my brother / the person I'm living with. His room is right there. Actually, he's home. I was living with him, a childhood friend. That's the one I was just talking about. And my brother's girlfriend and my brother's girlfriend's sister. They all had their own rooms. My brother and his girlfriend shared a room. And then I was sleeping in the living room. And I was paying them some money. I was paying for the rent. I was paying for the electric bill and the internet bill. So they kind of got a benefit from it, and I kind of got a benefit from it. But I got the bigger benefit, in my opinion. So that's support right there. Also, I mentioned this. They didn't mention it in the video, but I do get help from my mother. She helps with my car insurance. And I told them that. They didn't mention it in the video, and I can't control. They said they have creative control over it. All I can do is be honest about my financial situation, and they can say what they want, and then they can put whatever they say in there. So my mom helps with the car insurance. Some people were wondering, like, where's the car insurance? Well, there's that. I have that. And when that, as far as financial support, well, my brother, I don't live with my brother anymore. I live in my own apartment. But as far as financial support, that's the only support that I get. As far as like moral support, yeah, my family is very, very supportive, and most of my friends are very supportive as well. I mean, all of them are supportive. If they weren't, they wouldn't be my friends. So I would just cut them off. So all of my people are very supportive as far as like moral support. So as far as other people grinding, my brother, he's in California right now. He's getting his PhD. And he's making music, and he's out there. He's doing big things with his music, and also he's getting a PhD. So I mean, there's definitely other people. Like when I see my brother drop a song and then he gets 100,000 plays, that's definitely motivating. So yeah, so when I see him doing well, that makes me a little bit more motivated. And I'm sure when he sees me do well, that makes him a little bit more motivated. My boy, he's a photographer, that makes me a little bit more motivated. He gets more motivated. I try to surround myself by motivated people, and to the extent in which they're not motivated, I just do my own thing.
I totally agree with what you're saying. It's always good to be around people that motivate you, that support you. because it's all about that, man. It's life would be very difficult if everybody around you was kind of against you. But then I think you would, a person like you would just kind of build up, kind of like a callus where you're like, okay, if no one's supporting me, then I'm going to support myself and get this done. So a lot of people are in many different situations because a lot of people don't have support. I know people, man, which they're like this close to going negative on their bank accounts, because there's no support at all, and so it's a tough situation out there, even especially now with the whole pandemic situation happening. So yeah, it's good to see that you have some people helping you out. So fun question here. So I saw that you have Ben Graham's Intelligent Investor on your shelf. I don't know if it was a placement, but I saw it, and I was wondering
right here.
You're just gonna pick it up and show it right now. All right, there you go. Endorsement. What is up with that, man? Like, what is your investing philosophy? Remember, choose your word carefully, because 23-year-old, 24-year-old, 25-year-old, they're all gonna listen to you right now, man. Like, what is your philosophy? What do you believe in? How do you invest?
I would say value investing or fundamental analysis. Value investing in the modern sense, and even in the back in the day, it means something very different. But I kind of take the Warren Buffett approach to what value investing means.
Okay.
When you say, for example, people make a distinction between growth investing and value investing, and I think that's not arbitrary. I think there is a difference between those two in some meaningful way. But at the end of the day, if you think a company is going to grow a whole bunch, and therefore, the price right now, and it's worth, it's selling for a price very, very low relative to how much it's going to grow, then you're still saying that the company is undervalued. So you're still value investing.
Gotcha.
So even when you're growth investing, like Tesla, if you think Tesla, when it was at, I don't know, 20 or $10 billion or like a very, very low price stock, and you think that company was going to grow their revenue and become a profitable company long in the future, and you thought, when it was at $10 billion or whatever, the company, as a whole, the market cap as a whole, you thought that it was going to be worth a lot more than that, 40 years down the line, then that, to me, that could still be considered value investing. But Tesla's probably not the best example, but I'm just throwing that out there. I'm saying that I'll consider myself a value investor, but my point is, I don't make that same distinction that a lot of people make between growth and value. Like that's the same thing that Warren Buffett always says. If you listen to Warren Buffett talk about the difference between growth and value investing, he says pretty much the same thing.
I actually went towards Warren Buffett as well after I made tons of mistakes in my investing, and I started learning more about that. And then I found John Bogle's teachings, and I also actually had Warren Buffett sort of kind of parrot those, hey, where you should invest in S&P 500 or, index funds and kind of be in a broader market rather than be specific to certain companies, even though Warren Buffett does specific company sort of, investing, and he doesn't do himself. He doesn't go into, S&P 500 and buys S&P 500 for his own wealth. But there's not that many Warren Buffetts in the world. It's really difficult to sort of consistently beat the market. So personally, I found that S&P 500 is a great way for me to just say, you know what, I don't have to pick the right stock. I can just make sure that I can invest in the entire, USA and plus the world. And then just focus on work that I do to put money into that index. Do you at all like index investing, or is that something that what do you think about it?
Yeah, for my retirement, so I have two strategies basically in that respect. I have what I find as follow the conventional wisdom. That's what I call it. And that's what I do for my retirement portfolio in the Roth IRA. I just do the traditional, what they tell, broad market index funds, do some, I'm all in equities. I don't do any bonds. They tell you to put some bonds in there. I don't do that personally, but maybe I will as I get older.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just equities. But I do that same thing, periodically put money into the market over there. I do that for my retirement funds. And then for my non-retirement funds, I follow my other philosophy. And I feel like, to me, based off what I have seen from investors and just talking to people about investing, what I mean, I feel like, first off, I think that most individual investors really don't do nearly the research that it would be required to do to be successful to beat the market. And then I think that most institutional investors are sheep and they pretty much just follow what the other institutional investors are. And I mean, this is not just coming from me. These are coming from a lot of people who have worked on Wall Street, who wrote books that say, well, you can't get fired from following the crowd. You can't get fired if you do what everyone else is doing. But if you try to do something that is not what everyone else is doing, but then you're wrong, you might get fired. You know what I'm saying? But that means that pretty much eliminates your possibility to do better than the market. And also, I think a lot of the times if you're working with hundreds of billions of dollars, it's hard also, once again, to beat the market. So I don't know if I can beat the market. That's the reason why I follow both strategies. I follow one strategy for my retirement account and the other one there, and I guess we'll find out. But I met a millionaire. I know he was a millionaire. I had proof that he was a millionaire. It wasn't just like he was saying it. Yeah. And he did the same thing. I didn't know this before I met him, before I decided to start doing this, but I met him and he said the same thing. It was ironic that he said, for my retirement funds, I just put in index funds, but for my non-retirement funds, I just research stocks, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Dude, I bought my first stock when I was 26. So you're way ahead. Okay. So congratulations on starting. That's awesome. So beyond money, finances, and all that kind of stuff, you got hobbies, man? Like, what kind of hobbies do you got? What kind of things do you enjoy?
Well, money is what I enjoy, but
just money, just this fake money.
That's fake money. I was going to say, oh gosh, that
fake YouTube money. It's got Chinese writing in the back.
Oh, okay. I'm about to go
thumbnail, man. Thumbnails, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me some of those and go on Instagram and start flexing on people. You know what I'm saying? No, but no. I mean, I have other. Like I said, I'm interested in science and stuff. Like I said, I like language. I like STEM fields and language as much as I like money related things and business and all of that. As much. I just feel like if I focus on money now, I will one day perhaps be able to focus on science, biological research, or I don't know, or physics. Like I used to read quantum physics books for fun all the time because quantum physics is just something that really stimulates my mind. I really like it. And language. I want at my peak, I was able to have a conversation in 4 languages, including English. So language is now I'm only at 2, and I can speak a little bit of French and I read Portuguese, and small amount Portuguese can speak it. But as far as like hobbies, working out, I used to do MMA. It's expensive now, but so I don't really do it. But I like working out. But really, for me, money related things is my hobby. Like, I mean,
I get it. It's your main drive. And I relate to you with the.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's not even my. It's like it's literally fun to me.
Oh, nice.
It's literally fun. It's not my drive. It's my entertainment. This morning, I was reading a book about accounting, and I just felt like I felt like, oh my goodness, I need to be doing something. I need to be doing work. I need to be doing I'm not even just saying that to sound cool. I literally felt like I was reading an accounting book, and I felt like I need to be doing something productive.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So for me, it's not like I have a lot of times I have a hard time explaining this to people because they say, well, what do you do for fun? I'm like, this is fun, and they don't want to believe me that this is like this is literally fun for me.
I know what you mean. Like 10 years ago, me and my buddy, we this is when I used to do trading. I built a stock market screener in Excel, right? And it would literally, I would feed it thousands of companies, and it would overnight scan each one, and it would log everything that was like a good thing for me to look at. So I would look at multiple metrics and I would log it. And every time it would find a company, this is gonna sound so stupid. Every time it would find a company, it would go Hadouken. And I was like, I had to play a wave file, so I knew it was on the side. Like I'm like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one.
And so it would like pop up.
No, it would just play the sound like Hadouken, right? Because it was just saving. Yeah, it was just letting me know I found a company for you and for you to look at later. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was
that's
funny.
Really smart.
You could scan the whole market if you have certain metrics that you believe that I want to look at a company. You could program that into Excel, and scan them one by one by one by one. You can this information is free. You can screen scrape all this information from, not gonna say it, but Edgar.com, but you can do a lot of that stuff, man. You can just go in there and and screen scrape the stuff and just look at your holdings and see which ones you want to invest in. So, but now I'm index investing, so I'm not doing all that. But yeah, I've been there. Yeah. But I do relate to your science stuff, man. The theoretical physics. I used to read Michio Kaku, like the whole black hole, stuff. I used to look at the equations, try to figure them out. I've always been interested in that stuff because I think if you're not interested in what's out there, like it's almost as if like what are you doing right now? Like you're just thinking about life, but you're not thinking about the fact that you're almost all just not even there. The matter, even it's what I mean. It's like you're mostly just space, and it's so mind blowing. And then you find out, hey, matter is just made out of like perhaps made out of like vibrating dimensional strings. And then it's like, okay, if that's the case, then what the heck am I looking at? Where's the table? And I mean, what am I? And then are we just energies? And what the heck is distance? Exactly. Then what's distance? What's smell? What's sight? And you question so much. And I think it's such a good thing to sort of and Neil deGrasse Tyson came along and just like blew open so many things for me too. So I just think, if you aren't wondering about science and world and the universe, then you're sort of missing out a little bit.
Exactly. I agree 100% with all of that. I mean, when you were talking about this, it was just bringing me back to all the enjoyment that I had with just thinking about those type of things and doing those things. Like for me, that was one of the hardest problems I had in college. A lot of the times when people can't figure out what major they want, it's because they don't know what they're interested in.
Yeah.
For me, I had the opposite problem. I was so much interested in so many things. Like I'm interested in engineering. I'm interested in technology. I'm interested in physics, chemistry, biology. I'm interested in language. I'm interested in business. So it's just like, for me, it was like, and then there's life, and then psychology, social. So life has so many wonderful, interesting things. It's just like, that's the reason why I want to focus on money, is just so that one day maybe I will be able to be financially free. So I can just like sit around and read a book about, theoretical physics, and then sit around and learn how to do math so I can really actually understand it instead of just learning the dumbed down theory for people like me. I can actually understand kind of what they're talking about, at least to some degree.
Yeah. And I took
life is amazing. So I just, for me, all these things are interesting.
Totally agree. I took psychology classes. I took human anthropo classes. Didn't have to take them. I just took them. I took advanced astronomy classes. It's just like all the stuff I took, which is like just kind of because of curiosity. And I think you should definitely follow that, man, because you never know where it could lead to. Who knows? Maybe you're the next AI, billionaire. We never know, man. Like, you're 23, dude. Everything is possible right now. All right, that's so. True. What is your current living situation right now? And we'll end it with like, what's your current situation right now? And what other advice you have for people your age?
My current living situation. So, there's a lot of answers I could answer that to. I can listen from a kind of philosophical standpoint, or just like pure facts standpoint. But from a pure fact standpoint, I live in a apartment. It's a pretty nice apartment. I feel like my bed broke, so I'm sitting on the mattress on the floor a little bit. But I mean, my financial situation, it's for the most part improving every single month. When the market goes down, or if I spend money on my YouTube channel, sometimes it goes down. But for the most part, my net worth has been increasing. So my living situation is not bad. I feel like in life, like I said in the video, I'm not just saying this because it sounds pretty. I feel like I have everything that I pretty much want, except for maybe my own house and financial freedom. But I mean, financial freedom, just like enough passive income to cover my current lifestyle. But so for me, I pretty much live a life just making YouTube videos, researching, reading books, and doing Uber and Lyft. And even Uber and Lyft is not that bad. So a lot of the times with Uber and Lyft, that's another thing I wanted to touch on briefly, is that with Uber and Lyft, I could be making more money with Uber and Lyft, but I spend a lot of time reading books, and that's just the truth.
What advice do you have for the people around your age?
I would say focus on, I don't know, there's so many things, but I guess the main thing would be try to live a life that if you were to look back, when you're 90 years old, you're looking back at your life, you would be happy that you lived that life, and that you will be happy with the decisions that you did. You will have a life with minimum amount of regrets, and maximum amount of like fulfillment in life. And that's the type of life you want to live. And also, if you could possibly do that, try to do things that even if you were to die today, you would still be happy about those decisions. So your future self that may never exist and your current self that currently exists, both of them will be happy with the lifestyle that you're living right now. If you were to die 60 years from now, 100 years from now, or if you were to die today. And that's how I try to live my life, a lifestyle that I think that I will be happy with many years from now versus now. And I think that if you keep that in mind throughout every decision you make, your overall life will just be better than average. It doesn't matter how wealthy you become, you'll live a happier life because it's not all about the money. Don't get me wrong, I like the money, but it's not all about the money.
Yeah, so true, man. So true. It gets tough sometimes to remember that, but you're right. And reminder from you is great actually, because you should keep that sort of mindset throughout your life, and you have it at 23, which is amazing. I don't know what the heck I was doing because I didn't really wake up until 25, man. I was just like I was just working and going to the gym and dating. So that's about all I did. Yeah. I know. So one thing that I can share with you, because I'm a little bit older, right, and I've gotten to a little bit more life. So one thing I can share is when I was your age, I always felt like I wasn't old enough that I couldn't do certain things or people wouldn't take me seriously. It's actually the opposite. Right now, what you're at your position, you are at a position where you could talk to somebody, a billionaire, a millionaire, a person who hundredaire, whatever. You could be like, hey, tell me this, and 5 things, right? And they'll shoo you away, but you can do that 100 times and they'll shoo you away, and then 2 or 3 people will talk to you because you're young. People want to help you. You have that if I go around, like I have much more resistance. They're like, dude, you're like an older person. Like, haven't you figured it out yet? But you're younger. People want to help you. So if you actually approach, let's say if you approach a CEO, say, hey, literally go out on LinkedIn, okay, hound a couple of CEOs, start sending emails out saying, hey, write something heartfelt and say, I want a mentor in my life. And here's my current situation. Boom. Somebody will reply to you because you're 23. And it's like an immense superpower that younger people have but just nobody tells them, hey, you could just be like, just foolish, just go out there and just act a fool and like get somebody and to help you out and build something because they helped you out. People don't really care how other people are. Even an older person, goes and does that, they're kind of treated a bit differently, but a younger person doing that, it's a lot safer for them. It's a lot simpler for them, and people will mentor you. So if there's one thing you can take out for me, it will be seek mentorship and seek it by being just like how Gary Vee says, like send out like 100 IMs on Instagram. Instagram's a little bad. It doesn't work that well. LinkedIn really works. You send like 100 IMs every weekend, bro. Like you're gonna get people. Like you check out the $1 million, for example, real estate agents, right? Search up real estate agents on your LinkedIn. Start sending an email out saying, hey, I'm in this area. I want to be trained. I'll work for you for a month. Then just just give them free labor. I'll do anything. I'll work for you. I'm a hard worker. You're gonna get in, bro. Because you're so young, you're gonna get in. It's like almost like a unfair edge that you have. Me, if I have to do that, I have to be like, okay, so I got a lease, I got a wife, my car's over here. I can't just go, you'd be like, you know what? I feel like I'm just going to go over there now because, hey, I'll just crash over there. It's just a superpower, man. Like if you can take that a little bit somehow, apply it, take it, do whatever you want to do with that.
No, that's actually wonderful advice. I agree with that. And another thing I wanted to mention for the younger people as well is like the thing that you said is that I think that the vast majority of people should, like you said, kind of, as far as investing is concerned, like the S&P 500 thing, that I think that does make sense as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you definitely are dropping some gems there. I mean, I have a habit of not following directions. So
It's all good, man. But you are scientifically literate, and then I think you look at data. So I think if you look into it, you'll find it as I did that, hey, there's a reason why 98.4% of traders don't make money. So I'm just saying that's stats, and there's nothing I can do with math other than that. So, okay, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, they want to reach out to you, they want to email you, they want to offer you a job, they're like, this guy is it. How do they do that? Just, what are your social media and your email contacts?
Social media. Well, you can check my YouTube channel, Black Vito Moneyology, but that's not a good place to actually contact me. I mean, the best place probably be Instagram, Black Vito _ VITO _ and then as far as my email, the email I've been using for like business emails is mycallingbv@gmail.com. So that's my calling, like
my calling, okay.
BV. Yeah, like my calling, like you're calling me.
Got
and
it.
then my calling BV, like Black Vito, but the initials BV @gmail.com.
Okay.
So that's a place where you can email me, and but the best place to reach me is probably Instagram. Honestly, that's where you'll get the fastest response.
Okay, awesome. I will link everything you just said in the description. Dude, thank you so much. You're actually very inspirational, and I think a lot of people your age are just looking at you and saying, "Man, he's already thinking about this," and because they're just in school and they're not even thinking about what you're thinking about. So it's actually really, really good. And if you can bring another person up with you, do that.
100%.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. I will. If someone else I can bring up with me, I definitely will.
Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the friendly discussion that I had with Jerone Gillespie. I think he is a tenacious guy who is going to achieve quite a bit in his lifetime. If you like this video and you want to see this channel do great in the future, please hit that like button, hit subscribe and the bell icon, and let's crush the wealth gap. I'll see you next time.